Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. This is IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, episode 157. Let me get everything organized here in the control room. Sletwana, can you do the chroma key? Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Let me. I see it now. Oh, there we go. You got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yep, we're live, and just step away for a second, get a piece of equipment. I'll be right back. Got to have the raccoon camera. Got to have it ready. So tonight, George Cooney and crew, they will have. We won't have the issue that I had last night where you saw the camera settings. And we're going to do clean HDMI out. So set this up here in just a minute. I know that George Cooney, he said, yeah, man. He said, I'm ready for the feed. So we got some good food for George Cooney. GO1, hello. What are we discussing? First of all, welcome back, GO1. Always an honor and a privilege to have you on the live shows. So we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. There is one item that will have to be addressed, and that is feeding George Cooney the raccoon. But John S., welcome aboard. Tech for Your Needs, welcome back. Oh, man, we've got a crew. Let me grab something here. Hold on just a second. Here we go. Got the didgeridoo, the sound of the super chat. Now, for all of y'all long time viewers and supporters, I'm going to give a celebratory sound of the super chat. But what this does, anytime that people choose to send me a super chat, you can click that little button if you want to. It says super chat. Then I'll do the sound of the super chat. But because we've got a bunch of long-term people in here, we've got GO1, we got John S., we got Tech for Your Needs, and we've got someone new, Chasing My Asian Queen. Hey, that's cool, man. Good evening, new to your channel. Welcome aboard, and I hope you have a great experience. You know, customer service is my number one objective for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. So before we get started here, let's go ahead and do a celebratory sound of the super chat. Make sure there's not a spider in there, because I did have a brown recluse problem in this studio. Don't want to have a brown recluse bite my mouth. Ah! Okay, here we go. Hold on, that's not working. Let's try this. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. John S. says, Chasing My Asian Queen says, thank you. You're welcome. And Tech for Your Needs says, I see you are taking your health more seriously. Yeah, no doubt, man. IrixGuy's Adventures channel, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel Fitness Studio is just one of the many steps forward. And, one of the things is that, you can, one can eat and drink anything they want. But if you don't have a proper workout routine and you're not consistent with that routine, it'll fail. So, obviously, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I like to eat good food. I like to have a good beverage now and then. But, I also like to work out. And actually, one of the things that, got me back in the big routine, jump-started it, is I did about 55, 60 miles in the Smoky Mountains backcountry, backpacking. So I've got a lot of videos I haven't posted yet, but, I've got a lot of content there. And, it's really rebooted the workout routine with the IC4. If you haven't seen my IC4 videos, you need to check them out, Swin IC4. John S. says, IrixGuy always provides excellent customer service. Appreciate that, man. That means a lot, because, as we know, the world as a whole right now is not customer service centric. So, anything that I can do to provide positive customer service, I'll do my best. Tech for Your Needs says, I second that. There's something I've got to do before we continue with this live stream, and that's set up. I've got it right here, the other Sony Alpha camera. I've got to set this up because George Cooney just knocked on the back door of the studio, and he's like, dude, I got to have my food. I got to have my feed, man. So we got to set this up. The new studio setup that I've got here, I've got multicam. So we'll have one camera on the raccoons, and we'll have the other camera on me, and we'll continue with this live stream. So just give me just a moment, because I've got to step away and set up this camera in the raccoon area. I'll be right back. I'll leave this right here so y'all can keep an eye on it, make sure nobody comes and steals the didge, man. George Cooney and crew are actually waiting, so we're going to get we're going to take their food to them. Okay. So, the raccoons have arrived, George Cooney and crew. So, let me flip over to the raccoon camera. Let's see, let me go to preview here. And there's the raccoon camera. You can see George Cooney and crew. If you look off to the right, you can see them patiently waiting for their feed. So let me turn the raccoon audio on. Hold on. Raccoon camera audio is now on. So we're going to feed the raccoons. Here comes the raccoon feed. So I'm going to go get the food for George Cooney, the raccoon and crew, and we're going to feed them, and then we're going to continue with this live stream. But you know, first things first, and that's feeding the raccoons. So I'll be right back. We're going to feed George Cooney and crew. Just hold tight. I'm going to go get the food. It's upstairs. I'll be right back. Hello. I've got the food, and tonight's dining option will be pretty basic, unfortunately. So I'll go ahead and give y'all a just kind of a summary of the menu for tonight. And you know, I'd like to say it's something fancy, but it is what it is, and you know, every night's different. But tonight we have again the miscellaneous bowl of scraps, the bowl of miscellaneous scraps. So it's probably not the best, you know. You'll be content after you consume this cuisine, but it's probably not what you were looking for. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and serve dinner. There may be a dessert a little bit later, but you know, first thing is first. This is the appetizer. I'm sorry, we had staffing issues, so we really couldn't get the appetizers that you wanted, but we do have this main course, and we may have dessert. We'll just have to see if there are any leftovers. So let's go ahead and throw this your way. I hope you enjoy, and you know, we appreciate your patronage. Okay, so there we go. Good evening, Muddy Creek critters. Welcome aboard. We've got George Cooney and crew. I just served dinner to George Cooney and crew. Tonight's dinner was pretty basic. It was a bowl of miscellaneous scraps. But, you know, every night's different. You never know. George Cooney and crew never know what the feed may entail. But you can see they're consuming, they're enjoying, and that's what matters. I mean, you know, you can have a hot dog and you can make it fancy. You can have a bowl of rice and put some good soy sauce on it, and it's good. You can have a steak that's fantastic. You can have a corn dog. I mean, there's so many different dining options. So the good thing about George Cooney and crew is that, you know, they're not super picky. As you can see, they're enjoying the cuisine, and that's what matters. So, yeah, I wanted to get together for another live show. Obviously, last night, if you watched last night's live show, we did have special appearance. A silver fox appeared. I'm going to try a keying option here in my Chroma. Let's see what I can do here. Still playing around with this system that I use for live streaming. Let's see, multi-view, and then we'll do DVE. That's pretty cool. DVE on field source. And then this needs to go to, actually that would be cam 4. Ah, there we go. That's pretty cool. Let's see, let me do auto transition. Yep, so see now you can see me up here in the corner, but you can see and obviously where I am in the corner, there shouldn't be any raccoons up here because that's up in the sky. So let me see if I can increase this size just a little bit. It's amazing what you can do with this Blackmagic equipment. It really is. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Boom. So there I am in front of the green screen. We got George Cooney, we got crew, we got a big studio audience here. Muddy Creek says, cool, I have a red fox that shows up on my feeder cam every once in a while. Yeah, red foxes are super cool. I haven't seen a red fox here yet. Got 2 gray foxes. I've got a mountain lion. I've got a few bears. And let's see, what else? Bobcats. Of course, I got raccoons and deer. Muddy Creek Career says, are you using OBS? OBS, for everyone out there that may not know what OBS is a live streaming software. It's really cool, very robust. Actually, I'm not using OBS. I'm currently using the A10 Mini Pro. Yeah, to your point, the Blackmagic. Yeah, this is the Blackmagic Design A10 Mini Pro. I've really enjoyed this, especially like how I can plug it directly into my network. And by doing so, I'm able to stream directly from the device. But yeah, I'm using it in conjunction. This microphone's plugged into a Rodecaster Pro. So I've got this XLR microphone that's plugged into the Rodecaster Pro, and then the Rodecaster Pro is interfacing with the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro. So it's kind of a cool setup. I just enjoy setting this stuff up just for the fun of it. But yeah, it is a cool piece of technology. It really is. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on the channel. You know, I'm working on, actually got some videos. I've got a chili, cooking chili video that's coming out. That should be published probably in the next few days. I've got I've got to edit it and then do the do the upload. But yeah, cooking chili video. Got a mustard-based barbecue sauce. Typically when you think of barbecue sauce, you think of kind of reddish, brownish color, with ketchup and brown sugar pronounced. But in this scenario, it's actually a yellow mustard-based barbecue sauce, and it's really good on a brisket, really good on a Boston butt. Actually, tomorrow I will be smoking a Boston butt, so stay tuned for those videos. Chasing My Asian Queen says, wow, bears, we live in South Florida, tons of raccoons and foxes. Yeah, they're definitely prevalent in Florida. Muddy Creek Critter says, me too, I'm a techie by heart, no doubt. And then Muddy Creek Critter says, I liked your Blackstone video, made me hungry. Thank you. Yeah, and actually, I appreciate you sharing that feedback, because the Blackstone is something, especially as it starts to warm up a little bit. I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking on the Blackstone. There's so much you can do on a Blackstone. Breakfast on the Blackstone is phenomenal, but anything that you would traditionally cook in a kitchen on a cast iron skillet, if you use a Blackstone, the advantage of the Blackstone is, number one, it's outdoors, so you get outside. Number two, you still have that cast iron. But as far as cleanup is concerned, if you dribble the juices or whatever on the ground, it's your patio or your deck outdoors. You're not having to deal with mopping your kitchen floor. So, well, I guess if you were mopping your kitchen floor and you were cooking on cast iron, you would not be that proficient with cooking anyway. But no, I mean, the Blackstone is cool, and I'm glad you like those videos, because I'm super stoked about posting a lot more Blackstone cooking videos soon. And speaking of that, what is your favorite thing to cook on a Blackstone or to cook on cast iron? Man, the raccoons are just tearing into that. They are tearing into that. into that bowl of miscellaneous scraps. So basically what my wife and daughter and I do just throughout the day, we just, as we eat and we've got stuff that's not going to be, we don't waste, but, anything that we would put down the garbage disposal, we don't do that. We've just got a bowl, the bowl of miscellaneous scraps. So as the day goes on, anything that we're not wanting to save to eat later, we put in the bowl. And then that bowl of miscellaneous scraps is fed to George Cooney and crew, and they enjoy it. So Muddy Creek here says, my master-built electric smoker died. Oh, no. Looking at replacement. Have any recommendations? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm with you, Muddy Creek. Burgers are one of my favorite things to cook on the Blackstone. Bacon, did some Philly cheesesteaks, and the cool thing about it is, when you cook it, then you can toast your buns, you can toast your if you're doing a breakfast sandwich, you can toast your English muffin or whatever you're putting it on. It's just, yeah, it's so nice, man. That's a bummer that your master built died. Dude, I hate that, because honestly, did you cover it up? Did it get wet, or did it just die and, of unexplained causes? Man, that's rough, man, having a master built. I would here's the thing, and I've told myself this, and I've been around the block with electric smokers. One of the first ones, well, actually, my first electric smoker was the Brinkman electric smoker, that red kind of cylindrical type electric smoker, and it was very nice. I liked it. It had lava rocks in the bottom, and it did a good job smoking. And then I messed with the garage kept with the electronic. Yeah, that shouldn't have. Yeah, that's disappointing, man. Actually, I keep mine outside covered, and so far so good. Actually, I'm going to smoke a Boston butt on it tomorrow. I'm going to smoke it for about 24 hours. So I hope mine cranks back up. I haven't had any problems with mine, but that's disconcerting that that you kept yours in the garage and had that happen. But oh, 7 years old, dude, you got your money's worth. Yeah, that's an important piece of info there. Yeah, 7 years old, man. That's, I told myself with mine, and the way I justified buying it, I mean, master-built electric smokers are not expensive. But, you can get the expensive ones. I just get the basic one. But, I told myself, if this just lasts me an entire smoking season, I got my money's worth. So, I do keep it covered. I've got a really nice cover for it. But when and if mine dies, based upon just the experience that I've had with my master-built electric smoker and the feedback that I've gotten from friends and family about, I smoke everything from pork butts to briskets to ribs. Everything has been phenomenal. And it's easy to, I haven't had any temperature regulation issues with the master-built. The only thing I'll say with mine, and, I like to be frank and honest about all this stuff. The only thing that I'll say about my master-built electric smoker that is not 100% perfect is the built-in temperature, ambient temperature monitor. I don't trust it, man. It shows the temperature on the digital display. Not a problem. John S. says wristwatch check. Actually, I need to put something else on it, man. I've been wearing this a few days. I'm wearing the Rolex Submariner 114060, the Submariner no date. It's just such a perfect size. 40 millimeter. Just hard to beat it. Actually, I do like the Tuna 39 mil Black Bay 58. That's one of my favorites in the Navy. I don't like the black because the black uses fake patina, but I do like the Tudor Black Bay 58. Actually, it and the Submariner are two of my favorites just from a proportions perspective. But I'll say as far as comfort and wearability, that, Tudor Black Bay 58 in 39 mil, it pretty much dissolves on the wrist. You don't even know you got it on. Pretty much kind of the same with the sub, but the sub is a little bit, it just because of the case design, it is a little bit, it wears a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's, the master-built, Muddy Creek says, wear my Apple Watch now for health track. Yeah, no doubt, man. I wore my Apple Watch all day and, did a lot. I set an activity goal and a move goal, and I was able to exceed both of those. Now, my current workout routine, and I'm going to post more on my channel in the weight loss unscripted playlist, but my weekday routine is cycling only. So I do the indoor cycling with Apple Fitness Plus. That is just, you're just gushing sweat, just a great workout. So that's my weekday routine. And then Tim G, nice show. Hey, thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. Speaking of that, I need to give another sound of the super chat just for all the supporters here and the long-time viewers here. Yep, so that's the sound of the super chat. So, the diet during the week is pretty much tuna salad sandwiches and a steamer, which is just one of those little cheap meals that you get from a grocery store. But it's not breakfast, but I eat it for breakfast every day. So it's a steamer meal. It's a little bit, 200 to 300 calories, and then I'll eat for lunch. I will eat, here comes the raccoons, man. They're in full effect. Look at that. I will eat 2 tuna salad sandwiches, and then, and then for dinner, I'll eat whatever I cook or my wife cooks. So, and on the weekends, eat and drink whatever, cancel out the cycling workout on the weekends, but still walk at least 4 or 5 miles per day. So, you know, walking on the weekends, cycling during the week. And so the week is the healthy time so 5 days, Monday through Friday, healthy eating, heavy cycling. Weekends, eat whatever, don't cycle, but walk at least, 4 or 5 miles a day and eat and drink whatever. So it works. I mean, definitely on the weekends. So I got the weekdays and I weigh myself every day in the morning after I take a dump. Weigh myself every day. So during the week, day to day, I see my weight going down, and then the weekend comes, I see, it jumps up, but it's still a continual downhill trajectory, which is good. I mean, even though I spike slightly during the weekends because I eat and drink whatever I want during the weekend, the weekdays trump the weekends. So I'm still getting that downward trend as far as weight's concerned. So that's what matters. Muddy Creek says, funny you mentioned longtime viewer. I think I started watching you when you were doing drone shots off the back of your pickup truck in some office parking lot. Yeah, I did. I did a lot of drones in the truck. I did it in my Chevy Silverado and my GMC Sierra. I did a lot of drone videos. And actually, I had one where the cops showed up. I'll tell you all about that. So I was out in the field, minding my own business. I'm having a good time, being safe and responsible, not on a roadway, in a field. There's a shared area. And so this guy came out that lived by the field, and he started cursing me. He said, I'm going to call the cops, this, that, and the other. What are you doing? Event Vuck says, you actually have a wife. Yeah, man. Yes, I do. I certainly do. So I'm an old dude, man. I'm old and married, but, you get old and married, you still got to hustle and survive. So that's why I do my YouTube. Look at the raccoons, man. Check them out. There's George Cooney and crew. He's getting the remaining pieces from the bowl of miscellaneous scraps. He's happy. Look at him. He's jumping up in front of the camera. He's like, hey. They're jumping up. They're like, oh, man. Now, what they don't know is that, here after this live stream concludes, that I'm going to be grilling some steaks right in front of where they are. Event Vuck says, what's wrong with her? Well, let's see. Let's think about that. I mean, nothing bad, because if it was too bad, I'd just get divorced. So it's all good, Nothing I can think of is wrong with her. I don't know. Chasing my Asian Queen. Have to run. Thanks for the show. Good night to all. Asian Queen, good to have you. And drop by anytime. We appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. YouTube is an interesting place. I mean, you get to collaborate with so many cool people. Speaking of collaboration, I may be hosting a live show tomorrow night, and Hybrid Life may be on. Hybrid Life is a huge YouTube personality, and he's it's going to be an interesting show if he's able to join. We'll still have the raccoons, George Cooney and crew, but we're going to have a lot of interesting chatter. Yeah, my Asian Queen, thank you so much. Really deeply appreciate your support, because without you and all the viewers here, this channel wouldn't exist. I mean, it's a testament to your willingness to support the channel. I'm trying to find, I think, and I hope y'all don't hear it, but if you do, I'm afraid that it may be present. I think I've got a little bit of a hiss audio hiss, and I'm trying to see. I'm checking a few settings here, because I think I've got a little bit of audio hiss. I think it's on my mic input 2 audio input. Let's see. Yes, I do. No, it's online. Okay, so with the audio inputs on the Rodecaster Pro, you can do microphone plus plug-in power, microphone, or line. So I put them in line mode. But even with line mode, if you hear hissing, it may be coming from my other camera, the raccoon camera. And the raccoons aren't hissing. You know, they'll kind of make a growl and they'll make a that kind of sound, and then they'll make some other sounds. Muddy Creek says, I don't hear it on this stream, but I'm piping it through the Well, dude, if you're Muddy Creek, since you're piping it through the TV speakers, if you don't hear it, you're good. My last night's stream, I had a lot of microphone hiss, and I think it was because I didn't have this Sony camera that I'm using for the raccoons, the A7R5. I didn't have it configured properly. And I appreciate your feedback, because it looks like it's working fine tonight. I just can't hear it. I've got everything muted, but yeah, and actually we're running, so the raccoon camera, that's running at f2.8 aperture. So that's how we're getting the what seems to be pretty good quality low light performance. I mean, it's nighttime, and I mean that's how cool that is. Event Thuck says, been keeping an eye on your channel for a while now, and I'm sorry, but it appears to be desperate for likes. Better if you focus on stuff you know about. Just saying, bro. Hey, dude, I appreciate the feedback. And, you know, this channel has been and has always been an experiment. You know, it's been a personal pursuit of mine, you know, to do whatever. I mean, inevitably, and, you know, I won't get into everything surrounding it because that's irrelevant, but 2020, you know, as we know, it pretty much disrupted the ability to conveniently and affordably travel, you know, and then we got, and then the economy got jacked up and everything became really expensive. So, you know, one of the components of this channel that have enjoyed the most and will continue to enjoy the most is the travel component, because I can go pretty much anywhere. I can, I can interact with people, post interesting YouTube videos, have a good time while doing it. And I haven't been, you know, I do a lot of backpacking, and I'm going to do some more very soon in the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains, very nice area. You know, check out my videos. I've only posted a small quantity of the backpacking videos from my recent trip, but, you know, that's something I can do. You know, being here, obviously being in Appalachia, it's easy to go to the mountains and, you know, and capture some backpacking videos. But I definitely want to get back down, you know, being, another component of the channel, being Captain IrixGuy, you know, with my boat in a state of disrepair, not being able to get out there and sail the seas is kind of problematic. So, yeah, I mean, it's, we've got Event Thuck says, do you have a passport? Oh, of course I do, man. I'm an international traveler. You got to have a passport. If you don't, you can get yourself into a world of hurt. So, you know, just a word of friendly advice here. If you don't have a passport, you should probably consider picking one up, as George Cooney would say. We got Monica here, and Monica says, are you going to name the other raccoons? Actually, yes. Now, so you got George Cooney. George Cooney's the boss, and we're going to have a future show where we talk about, you know, how do you visually identify George Cooney, because, you know, a lot of these raccoons look the same. Now, one of them's, you know, one of the raccoons, and, you know, sorry if this offends any of the viewers out there, but one of the raccoons, I call him Fatso Coon because he's so big. He's just, like, enormous, and he grunts. He's like, you know, he comes up, and all the other raccoons are eating. He's like, you know, makes his growl and all that. So that's who I call Fatso Coon. George Cooney, he's kind of the one, And I'll post another video so you know how to identify George Cooney in the group. The other raccoons, I don't have a name necessarily. Now, our daughter named one of them Tiki, so I'll have to point out who Tiki is. So we got Tiki, we got George Cooney, we got Fatso Coon. As much as I would love to name one of them Sean Coonery's name, that name is reserved for Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. And, if you haven't been a subscriber to the channel for a while, or, maybe you have, Sean Coonery was inevitably, he was the most famous big Maine Coon cat on YouTube. But unfortunately, what happened, and you can check out the most recent hashtag Maine Coon Mondays video. I did a Sean Coonery video every Monday. But unfortunately, what happened, he had to be rehomed because he just got really irritated about stuff, and it was unable to be corrected, and it wasn't fair for him, so he had to be rehomed. And he's in a great home. He's no longer a YouTube celebrity, unfortunately, but he's in a great home, and he's able to to lead a happy life. And he did lead an extremely happy life here on IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. But a series of events, and he just couldn't be happy in the environment, so it was only fair for him to be rehomed. And as I mentioned, when he was rehomed, and it was one of those situations, I was very, very picky about, where he would live. And, people were coming to me, man, I want to pay you, and, how much to owe you for Sean Coonery, this, that, and the other. I'm like, dude, this is not a financial transaction. I'm just making sure that you're a good fit, a good household for him to live in. And finally, I found what I felt was the perfect family, and they adopted him. And of course, I gave them all of his toys, his food, thoroughly explained everything about him, and it was not a financial transaction. I mean, this was a situation where Sean Coonery was genuinely unhappy, and he needed to be rehomed, and he was. So, yeah, so the name Sean Coonery will never be appended to any of the raccoons. Now, in the future, if my wife and I adopt another Maine Coon in the future, then the Sean Coonery name, Sean Coonery Sr. or something or Sean Coonery 2.0, I don't know what it's going to be, but the Sean Coonery name may reemerge. But Sean Coonery will never be used for a raccoon. And then Muddy Creek Critter says, what do you think about the new parking fees in the national park areas? It was funny. Actually, my wife and I were talking about that, and I was up there in January, and I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of my backpacking videos from January in the Smoky Mountains, but it's always been challenging, especially if you're day hiking and doing trailheads like Alum Cave Bluffs, going up to Mount LeConte. If you're doing the day hiking trails, parking has always been ridiculously challenging, even if you get there super early in the morning. I think it's a great thing because, when you think about the park and how incredible, especially the Smoky Mountains National Park is, it's an additional form of revenue. But not only is it an additional form of revenue, but it's also a way to limit the number of people parking in areas, because people that are parked there want to be there, and they would have paid the fee to get the parking permit, and it's probably going to make a lot of the parking areas by the trailheads less overloaded. I mean, to get into Alum Cave Bluffs, the trailhead there, I mean, it's backed up potentially even a mile or so, which if you're like me and you hike a lot, that's not a big deal. But for people that are of older age or have health conditions, stacking on that extra mile or so just to get to the start of the trail is kind of cumbersome. And I think it's a positive thing that they're doing the parking fees. I personally have no problem paying it, and I'll probably even be one of the people that will get an annual parking pass for the Smoky Mountains National Park, just because it's such a great place. I mean, it's the backpacking there is incredible. I mean, and again, I'm still posting a lot of the videos, but we had a bunch of bear encounters, non-aggressive. Had a bunch of just really cool stuff that happened. And, you know, like I said, in January I did probably, I'd say 50 to 60 miles in the backcountry in the Smokies, which was, it was a good workout. You know, again, jump-started my fitness reboot, and, you know, it's a positive thing. So, yeah, see, look at these raccoons here. They're still walking. Now, that camera is on a battery. I've only got it charged like 50%. Event Vuk says, can you share your best way of grilling raccoon ribs, please? Well, the raccoons are not to be eaten, but the raccoons are to eat everything that we throw their way. So one thing that I do have, the George Cooney and crew do have a very thorough understanding, and they are very considerate. They understand that, because where my camera is right now, I've got 2 layers. I've got a lower patio, which is where my camera is now, and that's also where my grilling area is. So I've got a Weber grill down there with cast iron grate. So that's where I do my traditional charcoal grilling. On my deck up above, I've got my Blackstone and my Masterbuilt electric smoker. So, but the raccoons are very considerate. They know that when I'm grilling, they don't try to remove the grill top. They don't mess with my, and obviously I never leave my condiments and everything uncovered on the table beside the grill, because I know the raccoons would try to grab it. Look, he's standing up. He's like, dude, what's that over there? He smells it. See, I've already got my charcoal and everything staged on my grill. I use an electric charcoal lighter, but yeah, it's interesting, you know, when you live among the raccoons and the foxes and the bears and the cougars and the wildcats. You know, you gotta respect their space, and if you respect their space and you're polite, you know, they'll reciprocate. So, I mean, you can see they're all over the yard. I mean, they're out there getting whatever they want to eat. But, you know, I'm cool with that, because they're also, you know, concurrently providing entertainment for the viewers here. So, you know, that's a positive. You know, they're getting a free meal. They're getting publicity on YouTube, and they're you know, just having a good time. Muddy Creek Critter says, ha ha, if they take your steaks, they will become next night's scraps. Yeah, they won't take my steaks. Yeah, I'm doing tonight, doing some sirloins. We're doing sirloins with some onions and baked potatoes and mushrooms. Let's see, what else? Yeah, last night we did Thai pork chops, but that was not on the grill. That was in the oven. Tomorrow I'm smoking a Boston butt. And today I did the sauce for the butt. I did the mustard barbecue sauce. So I've got that prepared and taste tested. The wife said it was good, and I've got it in the refrigerator, so it's chilling for when the butt is ready on Monday, because I'll smoke it overnight. 24-hour smoke. Oh, man, look at them. They're just sitting there like, man, you know, if we could hear what they're saying, they'd be like, dude, there's not any more food out here? That's George Cooney in the middle, by the way. See, George Cooney just has a unique personality and facial expression. He's different than the other raccoons. Muddy Creek says, nice. Do you buy half cow and freeze or get from butcher? You know, actually, I've got a lot of people that I know, they do buy the half cows, and you can get a significant financial savings there. I do have a dedicated deep freeze in my basement, so you know that's primarily where I store my breakfast foods that I have frozen, like steamer. I eat these little steamer meals and that kind of stuff. But I've never bought a whole cow, and you know, even though I do have the capability of freezing it, my fear, even with having I do have a Generac natural gas generator system that'll power my entire place. But I just have the fear of keeping meat. Not saying it would go bad, because I mean obviously I cook every day, but I just have the fear of having such a surplus that, you know, if there was some sort of power issue and it affected my generator as well, or, you know, we just didn't eat it quickly enough. I don't know. I mean, a family of 3, man, I mean, we'd eat through it, but I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, it is financially speaking, it's a good deal. And you know it's fresh too, but no, I've got a butcher that I trust, and he does a phenomenal job. Event Buck. Do you buy 16 raccoons and freeze 8 for later? You dip ship. And I'll say that. See, there's one thing on this channel, there's no profanity, because this channel has been and always will remain appropriate for all age groups. So, yeah, good correction, good way to vocalize that. And no, the raccoons, man, they just come here to eat. You know, this is their restaurant. Muddy Creek Career says, yeah, about $5.50 a pound for grass-fed local farmer. That's not bad, man. Yeah, five. I tell you what's super expensive. You know, I mean, ribeye steak is astronomical, but if you want to get ribeye steak on the cheap, what you do, you go to a popular grocery store like Publix. I mean, I know Publix does it. You can buy at Publix what's called a standing rib roast. And often, Publix will have the standing rib roast on sale. And what you can do is buy a standing rib roast at Publix, and when you buy it, be like, hey, could you cut this for me? So essentially what you do, you get the standing rib roast, they cut it, and once the standing rib roast has been cut, it's ribeye steaks. But if you get it on sale, which is typically a lot less expensive, then you're getting, you're getting a deal. You're getting ribeye steaks at a discount, but that's because you bought a standing rib roast and had it cut into steaks, into ribeye steaks. So just a little pro tip for y'all. Muddy Creek Career says, meant to say that for a half cow. Yeah. Jake says, evening all, and tonight my sisters and my girlfriend are with me. So we got Jake, and Jake's got Maya, McKenna, and Katie. Welcome aboard, Jake. Welcome aboard. Good to have you. Do another celebratory sound of the super chat. So, you know, this sound of the super chat typically only occurs if someone sends a super chat, but you know, you got long-term viewers like we have here. It's rewarding to have y'all back. And again, I live stream quite a bit. I've had a little bit of a gap with my live streams just because I've got some projects I've been working on. You know, the biggest the biggest project was moving IrixGuy's Adventure Channel Studio, because, you know, as you know now, I'm in IrixGuy's Adventure Channel Studio 2.0, so I built a brand new YouTube studio, and just the time and effort of doing that, and you know, managing just a bunch of obligations that I have. I mean, you know, it's tough, so it's good to be able to live stream again. And I want to try to develop at least a somewhat consistent schedule for the weekends for live streams. Jake says, but I'm a long-term viewer, so I get a little bit of priority. No doubt. Yeah, you're not late, Jake. And even if you were, you wouldn't be late because you're the boss. Jake, if you don't know, is the guy that brought to light the Terry Peppers foghorn video. The Terry Peppers foghorn video, if you haven't seen it, it is absolutely outstanding. It'll change your life. So, yeah, I mean, we got everything going on here with the raccoons. Now, I will forewarn everyone, we're approaching the 1 hour mark, and I've got to shortly I've got a fire up those steaks. And you know, I've got obligations outside of the YouTube. You know, I got to cook dinner and stuff, man. So I have to fire those up here in a little bit, but yeah, we're this is cool, man. This is cool. So really appreciate everyone tuning in and seeing the raccoons. I thank George Cooney and crew. They decided to call it a night. You know, they've got personal commitments. You know, they got to take care of some things. So, you know, they're crawling back down the mountain doing their raccoon thing, man. So we will see. We will have a live show again very soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Now I will tell you tomorrow if Hybrid Life decides that he's available. The Muddy Creek says, "Me too. Time to take my pet for a walk. Thanks for chatting." Yeah, Muddy Creek, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. But yeah, I've got to get with Hybrid Life. If Hybrid Life's on tomorrow, we'll probably do a timepieces for tomorrow live show. And if you haven't attended that, essentially what it is, it's another live stream that I created. And it's wristwatch centric, talking about the trends of the market, and he's got a lot of insight. He's a super collector, super knowledgeable fellow. He's also a neurosurgeon, so very intelligent. And it ought to be, you know, even if you're not interested in the wristwatch collection space, it ought to be interesting dialogue, nevertheless. And we're going to talk about the state of the market, the gray market, the authorized dealer market, and then also the secondary market, the gray market. So all kinds of interesting chatter there. But I'll read one other comment before we depart here. Jake says, of the old historical Duluth, Minnesota F2T diphone type foghorn, sadly now no longer operational. It was the first of its type in Minnesota. Oh man, that's sad. Well, on that note, let's see. We got Event Vuck says, "Get them racks on the grill, buddy." Yeah. Now, raccoons, they're to eat. They are going to the restaurant to eat. They are not to be cooked or eaten. So, yeah, this is their little raccoon area, and they will never be eaten. But thank y'all. Thanks everyone for the chatter. Y'all have a good evening. I got to get out of here. It's an hour mark, and I've got stuff to take care of. See y'all later.